people to know for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I just, hello, my name is Steve Frody. So, oh man, so I'm gonna be moving around. I see we got a camera here. This microphone's getting recorded, so we're all being recorded. So, but no, this is gonna be I'm gonna share from my heart here, and this is an area that's I'm really passionate about, and I feel like it's an area that we all can make a big impact on, and more than you know. And I'm gonna share. I got goosebumps just thinking about it, and I can't see them. But I have notes that are on here. I just took a few notes from my notes and I put them on this piece of paper, but I'm going to read some notes from my phone, just some more questions and so forth. But what I'd like to do is kind of start out with really, what is First Impressions to you? What does it mean to you? Just trying to, this is an open book. I like the truth. Like Satema said, I want to lie in. What does it mean? And there's no wrong answer, but what does first impression mean to you when you think of those words? Yeah. Anybody? This could be there's no wrong.
First thing you think.
First thing you think? Yep.
First thing you see.
Yep. Anybody else? Just, they're all good.
First thing you judge.
First thing you judge. That's good. Yeah.
Like what'd you say?
First thing you judge.
Oh.
Yeah.
How people feel.
How people feel. Yep. Yep. Anybody else? Yep. I'm just grabbing my phone notes here. There we go. Anybody else? First impressions. What does it mean?
Lasting impact.
Lasting impact. Absolutely. That's good. Yep.
Set the tone.
Sets the tone. So these are good stuff, and there's a lot of right answers. There's a lot to it. And I'm going to share a little bit about me real quick. As my name is Steve, as you know. Hello, my name is Steve Frody. And this area in my life is probably one of the biggest things that actually impacts what I see and what I do. And my team, Marianne, knows probably more than most, but when I'm just going to step back too, is I'm actually involved with our church, and I'm the First Impressions director of our church as a volunteer. And this is kind of goosebumps, you can see it, but what I'm so passionate about is that first, when someone comes to your office, or someone comes to your door, or your church, or wherever, so I'm going to talk a lot about our office. Wherever you're at, and usually you're one of the first ones people see. What does that person feel? We're going to kind of go around at some of these questions, but I just keep thinking, what do they feel when they're walking up that door, coming to that door? When they grab that door, what are they thinking and what are they seeing? How do they feel, even by grabbing the door? Because they don't know what's behind the door. You're there, you're comfortable, you're sitting at your desk typing whatever and on the phone, but what are they going through? What's their mind? And I don't know what their really story is, but you're just doing what you got to do. But yet, meanwhile, someone's coming to your door, or we're going to talk about even the phone. But there's this feeling of we don't know, like if someone is going to drop off something. I'm going to even talk about the FedEx man. All right, I got a story about that. What's it feel like? What are they thinking when they're coming to your office versus somebody else? Or the competition down the road. Think about a FedEx guy. They're going office to office to office to office. I wonder how they feel at your office versus the other office. Again, that first impression thing, right? But I'm really passionate because I feel like it sets the tone for someone to really make a difference. It's not just an office visit, but it's really a life visit. It can be a life, even a long-term thing. So, a couple things again, what it really means to me is just, it's such a deeper, like when I even come to the office, I'm very detailed. Like, the door should be clean. The windows should be clean. The painting on the door, I have a black marker in my office, that it gets beat up. Our door is black, and I can't stand it when it's all beat up. Because what happens is, and this is another thing too, everything we go through in life, it always goes downhill. Everything. Our office is built in 2012. It's 10 years old. It's every day it's going downhill. It's not getting better. The walkway, the railing, the door, Caitlin knows, but everything is getting worse. And it bothers me because I'm like, but if we don't maintain it, or if I take a black marker, and this is dumb, but I do it because I want it to make it look good. And if this is all beat up, it's all chipped, it's all white, and it looks horrible. But when you build a brand new home or office, it's nice. you get that new floor and everything's nice, but over time it just gets beat up. So I'm just trying to make just these little touch points. It's a very simple black marker. All I do is and it just takes the edge off. So anyway, I'm really big on that kind of stuff. But I feel like there's so much we can do to kind of help make a good first impression. And that's just one little thing. So let's see. I feel like for us at City2Shore, we really do need to hold that bar high. Sometimes we think, wow, I'm just at my spot. I'm at my desk, and this is just who I am. But man, what's going on around us? Like right now in the office with this whole all-in conference, it bothered me. The whole office was just kind of trashed. But I get it, more than a little. But I get it that moment. But what I think about too is what's happening. It's in our sphere of stuff, but what's happening with that next guest coming in? Who's the next guest? This could be at your church or your office or whatever, but I'm like, what if the next person that came up is thinking about joining our team? They want to join City2Shore. What if they're $1 million or buyer? They're making their decision in the first few minutes, and you are the first one. That's kind of crazy, but you have the first person. We have a gentleman at our church. He's on our parking team outside. I'm actually on the parking team outside. He's the first guy when they pull in the church. He's the first one, and that's a pretty interesting spot, right? He's making an impact on every one of those guests that come in. Some people have been regulars, but some of them are brand new and they've never been there. So you think about if he's like, dinking around with his phone, it's like that whole opportunity. So every person is so important. So I think we just got to keep that bar high, and that's why I just want to share with you, because you're such a vital role in what you do. So, all right, so let's go back to, and even a couple notes. We only have a few seconds to make that. Like I said, if I'm not paying attention, who's pulling in the parking lot or in the office, or what do they feel? There's a certain about feeling. How do you feel? What's it like? And so my question on here was, let's go around the room and how would you want it to be, or what should it be? Have a great first impression at your office. Let's talk about a guest. What do you think they would want if someone's walking in your office? Just a guess. Maybe they're maybe they're a potential seller. Let's talk about a potential seller. What do you think they'd feel? Let's just no right or wrong answer, but what do you think if a first-time guest came in your office today? How do you think you'd want them to feel, or how do you think they would want to feel? Welcome. Mm-hmm. Any ideas? How would you make them feel welcome?
Friendly greeting.
Present or friendly greeting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? Okay.
Smile on your face.
Smile. Hey, I love it. I think eye contact, to look them right in the eye and say that you acknowledge them. I mean, at the hotel, I thought about yesterday when people kept coming in, they weren't looking at them. They weren't looking at people because they're maybe just typing, but meanwhile, there's someone standing there waiting, but there's no eye contact. Even though you're busy, there's that full, just acknowledgement. Even acknowledgement is a big one. Just, hey, I see you. One of me wants that.
Good, yeah.
It's a great way to do it. What else at your office? What do you think? How would you want to feel if you walked in?
Greet them, say hi,
Mm-hmm, right.
Who are you? Shake their
Yeah.
hand.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Prioritize them. Remember what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. That's a good one too. Boy, that's hard. Because
Make them feel like they matter.
that's a hard. I appreciate it. That's really big, because it really is. Because we all have stuff to do, and we're always busy. I have to be careful on it, because it's easy to. The tricky part actually in my office right now, I don't like it. I can't see the door. I'm being convicted right now. I should put a mirror or cut the hole in the wall and make a window. Right? Think about it. I should. I've talked about it. Why is there a wall there? Let's put a hole, so I can see them, And so, yeah, Marianne, put it on my list, okay? But I feel and I sense that, because I sense it's easy to go, well, I'm busy, I got stuff to do, and who cares about the person? Whoa, that's a bad first impression. We've all done it, right? But if you were the guest, if you were the person coming in, how would you feel? I had a kind of a cool story. When Florida office opened up, they opened up in Fort Myers. I went down to, they're into like a big circle of offices. And it was one of me and another agent, I'm not sure who it was. We went door to door passing out a flyer that says, hey, we have hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. We're having an open house at 6 o'clock down the road. It was like 4 o'clock. And we were like, we're bored, we're just waiting, and let's go meet people. I walk into one office and nobody's there. Walk in another one, they're back there. You can hear people, but no acknowledgement. One person's like, hey, how's it going? I mean, totally different world. And I wanted to work with them. If I was a client or even like, and I think there was about 20, it's like a big circle there. I didn't realize until later, all the different reactions that people gave when I gave, because I'm brand new. I went into the office, bing, the door rings. Nobody's there, no connection. Or how do they really respond to you when they do see you? And I think that's what I mean. It's that first impression when you're a guest at your office. So it's easy to forget. So even when I come in the morning, this is Marianne knows she sees me every day. I come in, turn the music on, turn the TV on, make it alive. It feels dead. It's like it can't be just dead. Like it has to be when they first walk in. Even if you quick can't say hello, but at least there's something going on. Just feeling like they're open. There's something going on. But yeah, all those 20 offices in Florida, man, it was night and day difference in every, but they didn't really, I don't think they really knew or cared about it. So when you're working every day, you think, what if someone walked in today? What if the best agent or best somebody or client or whatever, what if they showed up today? What would they feel? And that's what I constantly look at like, what does this feel like when the office the other day, Marianne, we were like, man, there's stuff all over, but I get it. I wasn't going to be mad at that. But I knew at the same time, like I know all the conferences, all the stuff's coming back. So now I'm already going, oh geez, but it's a season. But I feel like though it's a great opportunity just to be kind of constantly be reminded when if someone walks in today, what would you want? How would you want them to feel? Because it's a night and day difference. It could be an agent, it could be your top producer at your office. It could be your next friend. It could be your next, so there's so many things when you first walk in. Let's talk about the FedEx guy. And this is a story I have, but how would you think the FedEx guy should feel? Guy, UPS gal, whatever. How do you think what do you think it should be when they show up? And we like those when they show up with a nice cardboard envelope, right? That's the check from the closing. So what do you think? What do you just thought about the FedEx guy?
Feel welcome.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a relationship with the mail lady.
Mail lady, okay.
Whenever I see her, whenever she comes in, I'm like, hi, how are you? I hope you have a great day.
Right.
And so we try to talk a little bit.
What do you, I appreciate your heart. What do you mean by I try to have a relationship? Just kind of.
Well, in a way of I want to be familiar with that person, and I want them to feel comfortable if they're coming in
Right.
person with it.
Absolutely, and
We're
that's a
not
big one.
every day, but-
And actually, think about that person. They are coming in, hopefully, or the mail person, or the FedEx, or whatever. It's an important because what's the next guy? Or just connecting. It's fun.
Right. Yeah, good place. Where our parking lot is, we have 2 entrances on the corner. And so constantly, cops pull over to do something, or people pull in to reorganize their cars. So there's always people there, or they get in an accident. There's
Right.
always cars pulling in. And we've talked about, hey, if you see anybody out there, run out. Hey, would you like a bottle of water? Just we're
Right.
a safe place.
That's cool. That's a great, yeah.
Hi,
Yeah.
You're fine.
Wait a minute. You step out of your office?
Right. Well, we've just talked about
Right,
hey,
but I mean,
that's
why not?
just a good
The
opportunity.
first impression,
Yeah,
right?
It's a hot day. You crashed your car outside.
Right.
You pulled in here. You need anything?
Right. That's great. I love that.
Friendly environment.
Totally.
We
No.
always have strangers in our parking lot.
That is great. But that's I love that. But you're thinking outside instead of just being your main, as an admin, or it's very important. But a lot of times admins are the front line. And I know Alexis too and Marianne, we're both kind of, and you're at front, when you walk into your office, and Caitlin I know is there too. So it's kind of like you're the front. Boy, it makes a big difference. And how do you make them feel, so. But yeah, the FedEx guy, I think about, we're just trying to get to know him. Now, right now, my particular FedEx guy, we were just the other day, we're like, what is his name?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We can't.
I cannot, I've heard it.
No.
And we're trying to figure it out. But what a difference in knowing their name. And that's a big first impression. like knowing your mail person. And right now, I was telling Marianne, we know this. We know he's not every day, but it's like this. But can you imagine if they say, "Hey, Bruce, what's going on? How you doing?" That's a big first impression name. But to get to know their name, we should. And quick story on the FedEx thing too. I'm really big on just connecting with people and just trying to have a conversation, and just kind of with our FedEx, for example, it's like just life stuff goes on, and just having good conversations, not just, hey, thanks, but but just having a conversation, get to know them, so it's kind of fun. What about if I like this one? You are the front line of. What about one of your agents in your office shows up at your door? This one kind of bothers me a lot. Our own agent.
We always say hi and give them a hug.
Right. Give him a hug.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. All right, that's good. That's good. But it's easy not to. It's very easy just to kind of go on your way and just, I'm going to pick on Kellen, right? Oh, Kellen's here. He's walking in. Kellen always walks in on the phone. He's like, Kellen, one of our agents, he's always in. He's a broker owner, but he works out of our office too. But he's always on the phone, and it's kind of hard to. But I think it's acknowledging is a big one too. It's easy to acknowledge, even though it's the same. Like even for us, I think when if I'm before Marianne, hey Marianne, at least acknowledging somehow. But what a difference I wonder if we just took it up a notch, all across the board. Not the same, but just like really, hey, Kellen, good to see you. Just this different. Hey, Kellen, hi, Lori, hi, Mary. It's just one of the things I wrestle with, but it's just trying to remind yourself if an existing agent even walks in, one of your own partners in your field comes in. So, when if your broker comes in?
Yeah, hi. Yeah.
You guys can talk about this on your admin meetings. I'm not a part of those, so. But that is interesting, right? I mean, it's kind of like, what's your first impression of the broker when they walk in? I think there's other things like from dress, how we're looking. There's all these first impressions, but I think more of it's just like the office, the environment, the feeling. What do they walk in? I'm trying to change some things. We were talking about Wealthy Street. Has some challenges. We're trying to figure those out, and what can we do to make it better, warmer, and engagement. Let's see here. What does I was talking about like what do customers feel. I'm just kind of sharing a few things about this. Is how does the space? Like I said, how does the customers feel when they walk in? What does that space feel like to them? We actually changed our office. We actually took a wall out and actually made it more open because it felt like like a cave before, and so. We ended up pulling a wall out, just had a nice big table, just trying to make it a more open feel. About 2 years ago during the shutdown, we just knew, because people didn't want to come hang out. And that was the thing. We had our first impression. We built our first office. It was like when you walk in the office, there was nowhere to go. You kind of walk to the front desk, and then what? We knew there was something there that was missing. Like, that's kind of a bad spot, because now they're like, why would I hang out? I'm out of here. I'd rather have people hang out, or at least connect. And we've had agents just stop and hang out now. I know Allendale is very open. You got a lot of space. It's nice. Just trying to think of different office settings. In your office, which one do you say? Prestige, and that's pretty nice. And then there, for example, it's when you walk in that front door, there's a little cubby spot, and then there's another spot. So, but when you walk, think about when they walk through there. What do they feel? It's just kind of like, yeah, go ahead.
We have a guest fireplace in our lobby, which is incredible.
Wow. Wow. That sounds good.
Project list.
Yeah.
Cut a hole in the wall, put a fireplace.
But too had that great space in the front.
It does. That has a nice. That's probably the biggest feel there. Feel comfortable. Yeah. Is it boring? Is it cold? Is it welcoming? Is it comfortable? I think we talked about a little eye contact. I keep going back to what does the person walking in sense and feel, and what do they really want or need? Let's see here. Is it? I even wrote this down. Is it easy for them to know where they're at? And I think that's kind of like what's around us. I think about our office. Actually, the bathroom's not very disclosed. People, I mean, they're in their office like, where's the bathroom? That's not a good thing. That's actually a bad question to ask. Put that down on the list too, okay? So, but it's kind of like we have a door. We all know where it is, but guests don't know where it is. They just don't know. And it's like, even if we just had a little sign that said rest, just a simple little, with an arrow, you know, it might be a way to kind of, when they first walk in, boom, they're looking, first of all, where do I go and where do I get in, you know, where do I get out of here? Or where's the bathroom?
Ours, they have to find the door first.
What's that?
They have to find the door to get into the building first, because it's in the back of the building.
Actually, we have that. It's not the best first impression. That's true. I've seen it, and I haven't changed that. I haven't put a sign or, you know, but it should almost be door around the back, you know. We actually have now a brand new building behind us now. That's this huge complex that's going in, and we've had more people pull in our parking lot now, and we're gonna have to run into this where it's the wrong entrance, and so it's really okay. How can we make that a first good impression? But it's really the wrong spot.
Right.
So, I mean, we've had big trucks pull in the last couple of days with huge trailers in our parking lot. It's like they're stuck, you know, and so,
Especially
but.
if there's cars in the parking lot.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, so it's really not the good, so we'll figure something out there. But I like this about, let's see, you know, like address, what did you introduce yourself? I think it's good that we introduce ourselves to someone. Or how can I help you? What are you looking for? What brings you here? I like that question. What brings you here today? Instead of going, what do you want? You know, that's a bad question. Right. What do you want? You know, what brings you here? Great question. I'm trying to remember where I hear that from. What brings you here today? Because really, when they come in, we don't know. Can't assume. Are they dropping off an EMD check? What brings you here today? It's a great, just a couple words how you can address that. I like the idea of, is there music or TV, just activity going on, or does it feel alive or dead? Cleanliness, like I said, I'm really big. If $1 million walked in, would you be proud if someone walked into your space? I think about that. Would you be proud, like, is this ready to go for a brand new guest today? I think I'm going to share real life stuff. I'm truthful. I don't want to lie. Well, I have lied. I don't want to lie anymore from the Satema standpoint, right? But we had an experience at our wealthy office. This is where Alexis works at, and we're open book on this. And it's kind of a unique spot because she's not sitting at the front, and it's been kind of quiet there. Hi, Lori. It's been kind of quiet working there. It's kind of hard because most agents don't work from the office anymore. There's just not a lot of there. We're working on a few things there. I feel great about it. But Alexis is around the back corner, so it's kind of like quiet, the lights. But we had an agent that's pursuing City2Shore, and we met her, and she's still out there, but she thought we were closed. All right, it's real life. Just kind of being open, like she thought you should go by, you wouldn't see anybody, wouldn't see. And so we're gonna put like one of those people moving inside. No, I'm just kidding. Alexis is gonna be like,
one of those car dealerships.
yeah, car dealership people. But no, I think that's not a good first impression. And so I'm working on that. We're trying to look at different ways because she thought we were closed. So if she thought we were closed, what's the public think? What if they wanted to buy a house, or what if they're just trying to find a realtor? That's kind of sad. You know, I feel bad, but I'm real. I know I get it, but we're trying to look at ways to make it. So we have a big screen TV in the room. We haven't used it in 2 years. Since COVID, we shut it down. We haven't turned it on since. Like, wow, what if we just had we'll talk to Caitlin after the conference. Caitlin's gonna help. But just having a circular slideshow going. The slideshow that what Shelley had put up with all the images of people, of the agents, I think that's going on that screen. Because it's fun, it's exciting, there's something going on. But it's just trying to help them feel like it's open. But boy, can you imagine you're looking for a real estate office and they look like they're closed? I mean, you wouldn't go, you know. So that's a tough first impression one. I think, let's see here.
She was so excited when she walked in. There's people here.
I know.
Yeah, and she has.
Conversation with her. when
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was so glad. Like, but that's just as you're thinking of, as you're at your spot or your desk, and what's it feel like there? I think about when the agents feel like when they come in. Let me go back. Yeah, what do they feel like when they walk in the office? Is it alive? Is it dead? Like for me, the radio in our Hudsonville office, it's programmed to shut off. I don't know why it shuts off. Just keep it on. It's not costing a penny of electricity.
I think it's a internal preset.
I think so, in the radio. But every morning I go in, I got to turn the radio on. And I'm like, but...
No, the whole stereo turns off.
Yeah, so it's kind of like just having stuff going, and it's very low. It's not expensive to have a radio on. Yeah, I can, even if it ran through the night, I don't care, But I'd rather have someone when they walk in, they feel all hours of the time. So I'm actually sharing stuff that's affecting me, but might help you in your office. But I think as agents walk in, how would an agent feel about the space, inviting? Is it boring? Is it cold? I know Granville office, they had a pool table in there. Why'd they put a pool table in an office? It's just to make them feel welcome, like that place to hang out. And they got a huge open area. Is it comfortable? Let's see, are we making contact with them? Let's see, So I just think it's really important as we're working with, even as agents, that we are really a first impression coming in every day to the office as well. Then how about, this is kind of a whole nother twist too, is the phone. The phone, the office phone, or when someone calls, right? That's a huge first impression. They're on the phone, it could be anyone. How do we answer the phone? Hello? I mean, I know you don't do that. But it's just something that when we're almost like every time we answer the phone, what's it like? When if Satema was calling? Or I'm just thinking of a name. When if someone like just kind of remembering to raise the bar on the phone? I had a story that we had at the office. This is when before we had the office open. This was downstairs at our home. This phone call came in, and I'm trying to figure how do I say this. So the phone call came in, and this person says, "Hey, am I such and such? My name is Tom. I'm just calling blah blah blah," and they're calling an agent, one of our teammates, and they're talking for a little while, right? And as the phone conversation went, this person said, "What is your name?" And he said, "I already told you." Now, this person in our office was very upset he said that. But actually, he was right. So you think about it, let's talk about that real quick. He said, "Hey, my name is Tom. I'm with such and such realty company. I'm calling about this home on such and such." All right, this has really changed my life on first impression on the phone. So when you answer the phone, your pencil should be in your hand, ready to go. So our teammate was very upset with this guy. She kind of blasted him. But I'm like, we had a conversation later, but actually he was right. He told him or her name. "My name is Tom. I'm with ABC Realty. I'm calling about a home on Prospect Street." "Oh, what's your name again?" That means we weren't listening. And I feel like as a realtor and as a broker and the whole admin side, I feel like it's an opportunity to just quick jot their name down, because it's quick. It's almost like having a pen ready to go before you answer the phone. Don't just answer it. I mean, just because usually you gotta have to relay something, or you're forwarding a phone call, but what an opportunity to jot down their name, even their first name, because the name is so important. That's a huge first impression. So I learned that was probably, I don't know how many years ago. Marianne remembers the story, but you weren't there when that happened though. But I just remember, and Lori might have remembered that story back when, but I just think it's such a vital thing. When people talk, are we really listening, or are we just kind of going on our own way? I have a hard time with that when I'm at church. When people say, "Hey, I like to get their name," I should really have a voice transcriber. "Hey, that guy's name was Bruce." I thought about that. But how do you actually engage and remember their name? Because you meet all these people, but I do have a hard time with it. But at the same time, that's an excuse because I'm lying, right? I have a hard time with it. No, I don't really take the effort, and maybe how do I help myself remember better? "Hey, Bruce." Okay, Bruce, bro, trying to really get their name,
It helps if you repeat their name back to them.
It's huge, but if you don't listen, if they tell you, And I'm so busy worried about what am I going to say. Meanwhile, I didn't get their name. So that's just a big first impression one that I think I would want to leave with you on that. I think the other one too, any thoughts on the phone while I'm talking too much? Any thoughts?
Answering the first 2 rings.
That's cool, yeah. Yep. Yeah, actually answering the phone is one of the biggest issues right now. Nobody answers the phone. And that's a huge good first impression if you actually answer the phone. Because we went through our whole system on like our whole phone service thing and answering machine stuff. And I had one guy call me and he was mad at me. He goes, how come I can't get a hold of anyone? Like, that's a bad first impression. He did sell his house for $850,000, not with me. I don't know, it was somebody else, but at the same time, I remember the conversation he had, and we had worked through it. We're like, how does this work? Where does that phone get routed to? Because we have a couple different offices, and a phone goes here and goes there, and who can answer? But boy, a live voice, today's world, is a pretty big deal. That's a good first impression. Even as agents, getting a phone call to answer. So that's a couple things. And I think lastly, I'm going to cover just the website or any kind of social media stuff. I don't know, do you guys touch your website or social media, any admins at all? Do you do or don't?
Our other girl, Lexi, does all the website.
So, but as an admin though, okay, so she's a part of that, and you're not with, and Caitlin is website, and are you doing web or anything, Facebook or anything, or your company Facebook?
We have a social media girl.
You have a girl for that, okay, and you, okay. So I just think that's a whole nother, that's actually our first impression. I think about our church too. It's like most people will check out our church online before they come to the door. I think about when you go to a restaurant, what do you check out first? Did you check this place out? Did anybody Google Haworth Center and look him up before they got here? Caitlin, did you? She did.
A while ago.
Okay, right. Before you got, but it's true though, isn't it weird how it's all online now, so what that first impression is doing actually before we even meet someone. So the guy at our church, for example, yeah, he's out front, but actually that person already saw us online. So that's got to be a first. So it's really important. So I know Caitlin's doing ours, but it's really a vital role when we look at first impressions with the community or buyers or sellers or agents or someone that wants to recruit. Hello, Larissa. So any questions on that and the website? Any thoughts, anything you picked up today, or anything that you had a question, or even what you picked up today on just a few minutes here of just first impressions on the big picture of it. So yes, Alexis.
What would be your ideal first impression?
Ooh, that's a good one. I like it. I think for me is if I was coming to the office just to feel welcomed and like someone actually communicated with me, eye contact, they cared for me, how I would want to feel welcomed. Just in a way, I mean, I know we have a little coffee thing, and hey, people want to say, hey, do you want a coffee or anything? Just kind of feel like there's something there they're offering, or so much more than nothing, or even just it's easy to go, hey, what's up? What do you need? Or, it really is. What we come out of our voice, it's funny what we say. I've done it. What do you do? What do you need? We had, even through our church, people say, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? That's the worst thing you ever could say. I'm like, or I haven't seen you in, it's just weird what we say, but you got to be careful what you say in a good way. But I think, what else, what do you think about Alexa's question? What do you think would be ideal? What do you think would be welcoming? Mm-hmm. Hospitality.
A warm fireplace.
Warm fireplace. Open window. Popcorn. I think who is. I think Alenda has popcorn. Tell us about that real quick. What do you do there? Is it Thursdays?
It's for Thursday training.
Right, okay.
They brewed up some popcorn.
Right, see, that's interesting, just that smell. The smell is a sense that smell. When you walk in there, it does. Maybe we put that on the list now. Throwing a bag of microwave popcorn in the morning, every morning, turns it on.
Get those smaller countertop
Yeah.
popcorn makers.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I just think it's,
Get
candle.
popcorn candle.
Good idea. Butter, extra butter.
The white cheddar, like
The white cheddar. Oh, I love the question though, because I think, You know, we have an opportunity, and actually I think about it too, we have an opportunity to minister, just to come alongside people, because we don't know what they're going through. And just kind of, you know, being open about it and talking to them. And I know everything's so fast paced these days, but boy, what a difference on a simple, it's only a few seconds, but what a difference it can make. Any other questions? Yeah, I think that was great. Or any ideas, or how can we make a better first impression? Mm-hmm.
I missed the whole thing, so I'm just here to say hi.
Hey, thanks. How was your first impression when we came in?
Great.
Yeah? I acknowledged
How
you.
can we help you?
Yeah, that's right.
Everyone stares at me. How can we help you?
What brings you here today?
Okay. Have you guys ever been to Crumble Cookie? Did you guys already talk about this?
No.
When you walk into Crumble Cookie, everyone in the whole entire thing is like, "Welcome to Crumble," and it's like popcorn. Like everyone says it at the same time, but it's kind of like a little much.
Yeah.
It's like, because like every time I go in there, I'm like, okay, ready for it. You're like ready for the welcome to Crumble.
Right. There's a restaurant. Who is else? There's another one that does it too.
There is.
Which one is? It's a local restaurant that says, "Hey, welcome to."
Is it Jimmy John's?
It's actually, it is Jimmy John's. Yeah. And the only thing I like it, but I don't like it because you know
It's
what?
almost like you're expecting it, like it's not.
They don't look at. They don't even know who you are, and they don't look at you. It's more like, "Hey, welcome to Jimmy John." You know, it's like I don't know. But that's their model. That's what they don't know, but they're just trained to say it out of like, and that's not the best. But
That's the thing. It's like kind of like when I'm expecting it, it's kind of like almost too much.
yeah,
It's like a weird approach to it. I feel like.
it is interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anything else to make a better first impression, or ideas that you've
Make
had?
sure people don't feel like they're interrupting you. I mean, you can get
Right.
focused in on your work and you hear the door. And,
Right.
yeah,
It's huge. I'm guilty, 100% guilty. And I can actually sometimes see people pulling in where I'm at, which is nice. So it's kind of nice if you can't see them. I was thinking of Alexis too. It's hard for you to see.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it's ideas there to help kind of recognize, or you know, maybe it's a little mirror or window or something, you know, or a camera or something. You know, like it is a. I just think it's a neat opportunity we have all over across the board to make a good first impression, because you're really impacting your team, your customers, your mail people, all this, you know, the building, you know. So I think about, you know, desk space, floor space, clean, you know, if there's all dishes in the sink or whatever, you know, I think of like Wealthy has a sink there. It's always clean, but if it was full of dishes, and it's just not professional, you know. But anyway, anyway, questions? I love first impressions. I'm passionate about it. Like I said, I feel it, like I said, it's such a vital part that going back to that Florida experience when I walked around that whole conference, that whole center there, I would work with those customers and I'd even need their services before I would go somewhere else because they had a good first impression, you know. So just some ideas. So, all right. Give you a little time off, a little break. All right. Thanks, everybody. Proud of you guys. All right. So thank you. I am good. So, I'm sorry. One takeaway. Any one takeaways? One thing to take away?
That Steve is passionate about this.
That's right. Yeah. Anything else? What's it?
We like things neat.
Yep.
My takeaway is maybe to get like a nice smell for my office.
There you go. There you go. That's perfect. So.
Even like those wax smells, so then you don't have a candle burning.
Right. Just kind of yeah, exactly. Cookie dough smell or something. Or, yeah. Cookie dough. All right. Thanks.
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee smell. Yeah, that's a big one too. So. All right. Thanks, ladies. That's great. So.